Hi there and welcome back to Valley por Vida. Now, before the break, we introduced you to two RGV Elite boxing champs who are making the Rio Grande Valley proud. And now we're so excited to say that we're joined by another talented athlete in studio with us right now. You guys, please welcome another special guest, a sibling to our first special guest from this earlier in the show. Go ahead and officially introduce yourself for our Valley por Vida family.
My name is Moses Garcia, aka La Tormenta.
So cool. Now, you too, my friend, are holding something very special. Go ahead and tell us all about what's going on right here.
This was a Las Vegas tournament. It was a 3-day tournament, and I had a tough opponent, but I came out with the victory.
Oh my goodness. And I hear that you are on your way to a certain pro level, right? Go ahead and tell us about that.
Yes, I'm working hard for my pro debuts in October here in Harlingen.
Wow. Oh my goodness. And you know what? October is not that far away. That is coming up really quickly. So tell us why you're excited about this. What exactly does this mean?
I've been wanting to go pro since a while now, and finally getting the opportunity to turn pro, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? So many people are looking up to you, especially those that want to be a boxer like you, especially your siblings who we had a chance to speak with earlier. And then, of course, everyone else that's going to be watching this. So what does it mean to kind of be that kind of figure and inspire people?
Well, I'm the bigger brother, and they look up to me, so I like to show them hard work and discipline can take you anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. You said it. And you know what? You get to show that at the gym too, right? Because there's a lot of younger athletes there too that are looking up to you. So how does that feel to be in the gym and just to kind of be working together with everyone, you know, at something that you love?
Well, I like giving tips to like the younger generation coming up.
Yeah. So
they could know that to work hard.
Yeah, absolutely. And if they work hard, they might get something like this too. So what are you going to do with that? I'm just curious. Is that going in a special place in your house?
Oh, I just hang it up in my wall. That's all I do.
You got to make sure to, like, you know, just put it somewhere very special where no one can reach. But no, that's amazing. So what do you think your goals are for the future? I mean, what do you want to do the next few years?
Well, I'm looking up to winning my first pro debut and getting up there with the best of the best.
Absolutely. And real quick, where can we follow you online to support everything you're doing?
Follow me at MosesGarcia_26 on Instagram.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, you guys, we are so happy to have him here in studio with us, and we're so proud of all the athletes at their club and gym. And of course, we can't wait to, you know, just keep cheering them on and continue watching as they train and work hard to make the Valley proud. After all, the 956 is home to us all. And speaking of homes, there actually seems to be a growing problem behind rising home prices. I mean, even if you're not buying or selling a home right now, there's concern across the nation, and many people are even finding themselves uninsured. Not to mention the price of materials and just, you know, the overall cost of home building has gone up. So a lot of existing homeowners' insurance policies may not be as protective as initially, which isn't too good if something happens. So our team had the chance to speak with an expert about how this situation can affect us all and what we can do about it.
So what we did is we looked at the changing price of home insurance over the last year. And on a nationwide level, the average price of home insurance hasn't really changed that much, only about 2%. But there have been drastic swings in individual states because some states, the way that housing prices have changed and the risk that they're facing has just changed much, much more than in other states. So for example, we've seen a 34% increase in the average price of home insurance in Idaho, a 25% decrease in the average price of home insurance in Kentucky. And here in Texas, Texas hasn't changed that much. That's the good news. The bad news is that Texas is really expensive to begin with. So what we found is that the average price in Texas is now $3,700. That's up from about $3,400 in 2021. So what we found in Texas is a 6% increase in the average price of home insurance. Texas has the second most expensive home insurance in the entire country. And it looks like it is going to continue to get more and more expensive in Texas. So the big thing that we're seeing right now in home insurance is really it's honestly a pretty big problem. And what we have found is that because home prices have risen so quickly, as much as 30% in some states, and because materials cost, the cost of replacing a home, has also risen so quickly, people are now underinsured. In a state like Texas, which has seen a lot of natural disasters over the last 40 years, that can be a big problem. Because if you're going off of your old insurance policy, say you had a $500,000 insurance policy on your home, that's not going to cover you anymore if something happens to your house and it's a total loss.
It may be unfortunate to witness rising home prices, but it's always good to educate ourselves on different things that we can do to make sure that we're prepared. In fact, let's give you just a few more things to keep in mind when it comes to this. According to nerdwallet.com, one of the very first things that we need to keep in mind is start saving and save early. Yes, there may be costs that might seem a little bit daunting, but hey, if you're dedicated to building up that down payment, then you can do it. The site also says that the type of mortgage you choose will, of course, depend on your down payment and lender, but that a lot of times first-time home buyers have an option for credit that allows as little as 3% down. It says that, for example, a $300,000 house can be a reality with just $9,000 down. So it's a good idea to go online and use a down payment calculator to get a better idea of what options you may have. And if you're like me, math can be a little bit tricky, but just break it down into baby steps. Really just gotta go in and just focus on what you gotta do first and how much you can afford. And the site also says that this is important for a lot of reasons. And it takes into consideration many things like your income, your debt, your down payment, credit score, location of residence, I mean, so many things. So just make sure that you're figuring out what you're working on first and then move on to the next step. And we've got to be cognizant of our credit because our score can be the reason that we have a low or high interest rate. So if you know that you maybe need to work on that just a little bit, then the site says that probably should be a good thing to focus on at first. It says also to make sure that we're paying our bills on time, that we can keep our credit card balances as low as possible. And next it says to keep our current credit cards open, since closing it can increase the portions that we're allowed to use, prompting us to want to spend more and often, meaning a little bit lower of a score. It also outlines that we should keep track of our score so we can always know how we're doing and what we need to improve on, if any. And it's a good idea to explore different mortgage options, so try to do a little bit of research on what's available and what might work for you. The site says, for example, that the Federal Housing Administration allows down payments as low as 3.5%, and the Department of Veterans Affairs offers certain opportunities for veteran military and service members with zero down payment. I mean, there are a lot of options out there if you take the time to educate yourself on the process and on an organization's services in the field. So definitely pay attention to those things. And part of that research includes looking into first-time homebuyer insurance programs. The site outlines that many states and even some cities and counties actually offer certain resources to help lower the down payments and to assist with closing costs or even tax credits. So maybe look into one of those options as well. And with those tips in mind, we are leaving you to do your research, you guys. Thanks again so much for joining us today, and be sure to tune in again next time on Valley for Vida. We'll see you next time.